Pretty girl with an ugly smirk, you convince yourself that it's one of my quirks again. Too high if you can choose.
Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you are new. Today we are going to be doing a series vlog. I don't know if I've done a full series vlog before that I've actually posted, because I did do a Farsi vlog, but then I never posted it. So I have done spoilery individual videos. This is going to be a full spoiler video. But the series is Serpent and Dove. I don't know what the series is actually called. Is it called Serpent and Dove? The first book in the series is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This follows a girl called Lou and a guy called Reed. Lou's a witch. Reed's a witch hunter. Can we see where this is going? We can. I have already read this once, but I am starting Blood and Honey with Lindsay on Monday. I've got 3 buddy reads starting on Monday, one of which is Blood and Honey. And I was going to just do a recap, but I thought the first time I read this, I devoured it in one sitting. So it's on BookBeat. I've got BookBeat free for a few months, so I thought, why not? This, like I said, going forward from here on in, it's spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, leave. Come back for another video. Do you know what I mean? So we start off with Lou and Coco, her best friend, hiding away behind a wall because they're trying to steal back a ring from a guy called Tremblay, and he seems like he's a bad guy. I can't remember everything that happens in this, which is another reason why I didn't just want to do a recap. We find out very early on that she's a witch, and we find out that Coco, her friend, is a witch, and there are different types of witches, which I do love in this, like the different types of witches. Great. We don't know why she wants to get this ring back, what it's for, what significance it is to her. Although we do find out a little bit further in, that not too far in, that it can give her certain abilities, one of which is like making herself invisible. But she wants to steal this ring back. That initial sort of like heist thing goes wrong because the person she wants to take it back from doesn't have it, so she ends up trying to go to his house to steal it back. And in between those two events, she comes across Reed, who is a witch hunter, and he can apparently, when witches perform magic, they give off a smell. There's a scent, and they can smell magic, so that's how they know where the witches are. We've got to the point where they've crossed paths once, where she was dressed as a man very badly because her moustache came off, and yeah. There's then been a tip off that there's going to be a witch at this person's house that she's trying to steal from, and then she gets caught up in that, along with Baz, who is an ex-lover. Coco gets away, but it's a bit of a mess. Lou is also homeless, so she like lives on the streets, so she's been living above a theatre, and in an attempt to get away from people, she bumps into Reed again, who recognises her and tries to grab her, and then they fall into a situation, if you read it, you know, they fall into a situation where they end up having to get married. I've been reading this while I've been working. I've got, on double speed, it says I'm 6 hours in, so technically I've been listening for about 3 hours, and I'm enjoying it. Again, the reread is great. I'm picking up on things on reread that lead to things further down the line in this book, and I'm really excited to get back to where we were before. I do remember some things about this book, but then other things I don't remember. So we also meet a young boy called Ansel, who's a 16-year-old chasseur. That's it. They're called chasseurs, and he's a trainee chasseur, and he's adorable. I immediately loved him the first time, and when he comes into this again, I immediately feel like warmth towards him, because he's so innocent and he just wants to be a chasseur, and he just wants to do what's right, and it is just very, very sweet. We've got to a point where Reed is being an uptight shit, and initially I really didn't like Reed, not at all, and when I'm reading this again, I'm remembering why I didn't like him, but I'm also remembering what happens later on, so I'm trying not to. It does give me a bit of, like, I'm a bit biased in this way because I know what happens later on in this book specifically. So I'm trying not to hate him too much, but it's very difficult because he acts like a stuck-up prick, and Lou's just great. She's funny, she says what she thinks, she gives zero fucks about anything that people think of her. She is who she is, and it's great. We meet a guy called John Luke as well, who used to be one of Reed's close friends, and also I'm reminded why I really disliked John Luke in this as well. He's a bit of an arse. I'm on page 216, which is there already, so I'm doing well with this. I told you it was a quick read. I'm really struggling to remember exactly what happens in this. So none of them want to be married. Diggory is in love with somebody else, and Lou just doesn't want to get married, but they have to get married so that she isn't like sent to prison because she was a thief. They're slowly starting to think a little bit better of each other. You can see that initially there was just like this hatred or dislike for each other, and she hates Reed because she's a witch. She knows she's a witch hunter, but he doesn't yet know she's a witch. But he knows that she's a thief, which he's a very much a man of God, and he believes that as a thief she's beneath him. She's, you know, she's a heathen. Like, he thinks she's uncouth because she swears, and yeah, so he's very pious, and he has a very close bond with the Archbishop, who is a bit of a creep, in all honesty. I really didn't like him either. Him and John Luke, just, I'm not a fan. Oh, and Coco's back. Like, Coco got away after they tried to rob Tremblay, but she came back when she heard that when she heard that Lou was married, and she's now a nurse in the, like, where the witch hunters live, and they're using her to help look after people that they are experimenting on, because they're trying to find out where magic comes from. And I forgot this bit. There are some people that we meet when they're explaining like these people they're experimenting on, and the visions of like what they look like in my head are really creepy. I forgot that bit happened, and it's awful to listen to, not gonna lie. So that was not a fun experience. I'm glad I wasn't eating at that point. But yeah, I'm gonna head off, finish reading this, because I'm hoping to come and give you another update. I'm gonna try and remember to give you another update before the end. I'll try and give you another update around the 400 page mark, and we'll see where we go from there. Hello friends, I'm currently, I'm 68% in. Oh, what's happened? I forgot how angsty this is, and also how much I really just want her to tell him that she's a witch, and just to see what his reaction is, because he's such a pious person. He wholeheartedly believes that witches are heathens, and that the music, that the magic they get is from the devil, or from hell, and that it's okay to burn them even if they literally don't do anything. It's a lot, and I forgot how frustrating that was to read. And also I forgot that the madame from the place who tried to buy Lou as a brothel, it turns out that it's Reed's mother. I totally, that bit just went out my brain. I totally forgot that happened. I didn't forget, however, that they have a little bit of a steamy situation before shit goes down, and they get really close, and she kills these men trying to kill her, and that there's this whole intense situation between her and Reed, and she realises she loves him. Reed's a virgin, and she helps him get the groove going. I still really love Ansel and Coco, and even though we haven't seen much of Coco in this book, I'm hoping that we see more of Coco and Ansel in the next one, because they are both absolutely adorable people. Coco is loyal as hell, and you want a friend like Coco. And Ansel's so open-minded, and he's just the kind of person you want to nurture. Because despite him being a chasseur, or wanting to be a chasseur, he's still, when he found out about Lou, he was very open-minded. He didn't say anything derogatory about her. It does frustrate me how they call witches its though. Even if they felt like witches were like demons, they still have a female form. So I'm just a bit, yeah, there's certain things that really pissed me off about the way that they believe what they're doing is good. Like burning people is good because you think that they're a demon, or like they get the magic from hell and it's bad and it's supposed to live your life by God and stuff. Just because people don't do that, and because they have something that these chasseurs don't, they feel like it's okay that they can just kill them. And I've never understood that in any kind of book that I've read where the beliefs are that strong. It's like they've twisted the beliefs of a religion to believe that, or like it's very strange. It's very strange. I'm remembering that there's more of an actiony bit at the end of this, and it's making me feel really scared for what's to come, because I know the first time round, if I remember rightly, surprise surprise, I cried. That's not going to be fun for me to experience, and I will be experiencing that tonight. I'm probably going to try and finish this tonight. It is Friday the 19th of May, and I will just start this. On Monday I start Blood and Honey, so there will only going to be a couple of days between this clip, or this finishing and the other one starting, but it'll be just a clip for you guys. Things are just going too well. Things have been going too well. They're all loved up now. They haven't said they love each other, but she said it in her head. And I also forgot that this was a first person perspective, so you do get, it's like multiple POVs. So we get Reed's POV, and then we get Lou's POV, and Halter Graham, I think that's his name, who is the voice, who is the narrator for Nevernight, is Reed for this. And I knew when I started listening to Nevernight that I recognised the voice, and I didn't realise that he's the voice of Reed. And now that I've listened to the whole Nevernight Chronicles trilogy, the way that he narrates and his intonations and how he does his voices and all that, and very much remind me of Nevernight now. But also the way that he portrays Lou very much reminds me of like a more tame Mia, because Lou doesn't like killing people. It's not something she wants to do. She's not like an assassin. It's something she's had to do to, like, in self-defense. So, but the way that her attitude is really does remind me of Mia, and I think that's making me like her even more as a character. So that's fun. I'm gonna head off now and try and finish this tonight, and I will update you possibly once I've finished it now, because I've not got long left. Probably like 2 hours left. So oh, I forgot he says I love you as he walks out the door. She hasn't told him she's a witch. This is not good, friends. This is not good. Damn it. Damn you, Reed. I've reached the bit that made me sad, and it was in this book. Reed's mum. Oh my god. Sorry, you can see the mess behind me. Reed's mum reveals herself, kind of, but doesn't explicitly say, like, I'm your mum, and then, like, she gets killed. I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry. Hi, friends. I've now finished Serpent and Dove. The reveals, the twist, the everything, and this is, I remembered why I gave it 5 stars, and it was brilliant, and I loved it very much. And Lou, I will say that Lou is just a great character. I would like to see more of Ansel in book 2. I would like to see more of Coco in book 2. Read is just a wet blanket. It's just great. Well, wet blanket's the wrong word. It's actually quite soft, which we don't mind. We don't mind a bit of a soft boy. And I'm really excited to see where things are going. I don't know why I'm doing all cryptic for like the reveals and stuff, because it's a spoiler-filled vlog. We find out that Reed's a witch. How can I forget that? I knew that we had a big reveal, but I thought the big reveal was that the witch was his mum. I forgot that at the end that we find out he's a witch too. So normally you could tell by the titles kind of like what it's going to be, with Blood and Honey. Is blood. They're going to Coco's tribe, and she's a blood witch. Well, she does magic with blood, so maybe the blood section, the blood part of it is her tribe. I don't know, but I'm intrigued. I will give you updates next week when I start reading it with Lindsay. I'm going to head to bed now because it's late, but my hair's a mess. I'm a mess. But I'll get a shower and go to bed. Peace. Hello friends, I'm back again. And I am now onto Blood and Honey. I am now 100 pages in. And we have thoughts, feelings and ponderances, guys, that I'm going to share with you right now. So, Reed. Got issues. I have issues with him. He's annoying me. So, we've already established in book 1 that Lou's a witch. We've already established at the end of book 1 that Reed's a witch. Male witch. Oh my god, I can't have male witch. That's fine. Funky. Fab. Fair enough. He's been around witches. Coco being one, Lou being the other. Yes, there are bad witches, but he still thinks, like, I know he's been trained to believe this for so long, but he's spent time with Lou and Coco. He's in love with Lou. So, why does he have this argument with Coco about magic being abhorrent? And why would you say that when he's been involved in situations where magic saved his life, literally saved his life, and the life of the person he loves? Like, what is that about? I don't understand. I don't. The connection's not made. He's pissing me off. Not gonna lie. So there's that. Lou is being very belligerent as well, but I can understand why Lou's being like that. She doesn't want anyone she cares about to get hurt, but she also wants to defeat her mother. So, you know, her plan to separate was a good plan. You know, people go this way, people go this way. Coco's auntie does not want to allow Reed into her little space. So that's fine. So Reed goes the other way to speak to the werewolves. And I just love how there's different creatures being brought into this whole thing. And it's not just witches and magic. It's also magical creatures, which, yay. And then there is, do you know what, right, though? I've been reading another book that has Solemn in it, which is like a werecat. And the cat in this, is it a cat? Or is it the familiar that's following, that we now realise is following Lou, or I think is following Lou. They thought that this thing was following Reed, but I think it's following Lou. She said, oh, he's not my familiar. But he reminds me of Solemn, and I think Solemn's in Aragon. We met him, and I feel like it's not necessarily a good omen that this being is following her, and that has attached itself to her, or someone from her merry band of men and women. So the people who went with her were Coco and Ansel. Bo and Reed went the other way. I'm following her, Ansel, or Coco, but I genuinely think it's following her. And can we just I would just want to squeeze Ansel and just give him a hug and say it's okay not to be a witch if he's obviously, we know that, like, he's called Dickory because he's an orphan. Him and Reed were orphans. They were taken in by the chasseur, and, you know, there's that whole thing, they were trained and blah blah blah. So the fact that Reed found out his mother was a witch and that he is a witch, like, the fact that Ansel wants that for himself, because then that will give him a family and a place to belong, is just so freaking adorable. I just want to wrap Ansel up and just tell him everything is okay, and that if he just and then he tried to train and it didn't go well, and I think he's gonna have an impact on the story in another way, but at the moment he's sort of feeling like he's the weak link in the group and he doesn't bring anything to the group. But I think that's like a setup for him actually being important in the plot later on. If that's not the case, I don't know why he's here, because if he's there for just like fodder, I'm not about that life. You can't bring in a really cute character that's just so wholesome and adorable and helpful and not narrow-minded and helped Coco even though he knew she was a witch and he was a trainee chasseur and he shouldn't have been helping her. And you know, you can't bring me a character like that and then just leave him as fodder for somebody and not give him something useful to do within the group. So Shelby Maroon, if you've done that, shame on you. But I am really excited to see where this is going. We're about 100 pages in, and my thoughts, feelings and theories and ponderances at this point in time is that I think there's a lot of emphasis on the fact that Bo, you idiot, why would you, and Lou, why would you let him dye your hair? It's like, well, I don't know, I just saw some courtesan do this or whatever it was, some woman that he was bedding, he just watched her do her hair, so then he thought that he was competent enough to do Lou's hair, and then he bleached her skull, and she had to cut her hair off, and then started saying that she looks like a mum with like the white hair because it was bleached, and I'm just like, why? Why would you let an amateur do your hair for one thing, amateur bleach your hair, what the fuck? And then, like, she just chopped all the hair off. I think she's going to the dark side. I know it's not Star Wars. It's not going to be like a whole Darth Vader-esque situation. But the fact that she's using her magic more, and obviously if her mum dies, she's going to be like the maiden, the crone. You know, she's going to be the all-encompassing mother, maiden, crone. Is that what it is? So she's going to be like the all-powerful if her mum gets killed. So I think that the more that she uses the power, the more that it comes through in her, because her eye colours started changing when she's using her powers, and even Reed, when he was arguing with Coco, was going to say she looks more like her mum all the time, and she's losing her temper more. But is she? Are we thinking that she's losing her temper more and being more snappy because Reed said she is and because she then snaps at him? Or is he just being overly sensitive because he's like, I can't be around magic because I was a chasseur and I was brought up to dislike this. I'm like, dude, you're a witch, come to terms with it, get over it. Use your magic, because clearly you are well aware that this is something that's going to help you. Just like, suck it up. Soak it up. Nobody expected you to be in this position, but, you know, it is what it is. And then saying to Coco she's not had to sacrifice anything, I'm sorry, she's a blood witch. A blood witch. She literally has to cut herself and draw blood in order to do magic. How is that not sacrificing yourself? Like, scarring your own body so that you... I don't understand. Read, think about what you're saying before you say it. And I don't understand. So my very rambly thoughts right now is that I think they're going in separate ways. I think they'll get the backup that they want. But I think that Reed will start to use his magic and come to terms with his new witch status eventually. But I think it might be a bit too late to save Lou. So I don't think that she's going to get killed, because it's YA, and generally speaking in YA, the protagonist, the main character, you know, doesn't get killed off in the YAs I've read. So normally a side character that does, so it's like likely to be like Coco or Ansel that gets killed off. But I think Lou might turn to the dark side and get turned by the magic within her that, like, for her festering hatred of the way that her mother treated her growing up and blah blah blah, the unresolved childhood issues that she has. I feel like that might mean that she, like, goes beyond the point of being helped. But I think that Reed will come into his magic, but I think it will be too late, and then book 3 will be a case of him trying to save her from herself and bring her back to the good side. The likelihood is that overall at the end of this that everything's going to turn out peachy fine and fabulous and funky and fresh, and Reed and Lou are going to be happily ever after. But in Coco, I've got this kind of like bantery, argumentative thing going on. I feel sorry for Ansel because he's like 16 and I don't know how old Coco is. She might only be a couple of years older than him, but age-wise, I'm not 100% sure. But Bo's 21. And I think that Coco's more likely to go for Bo because they've got that little bit of flanter going on. I don't know. But they're my thoughts. 10 minutes of my thoughts. You're welcome. Hi friends, I'm updating you on Blood and Honey so far. I've got 2 hours left, or 2 and a bit hours left, and I have thoughts, feelings and ponderances. Shall we sit you here? I am thinking more and more that the bond between Reed and Lou is a deadly one. It's not the best. His mum said something to him that makes him think that the reason that him and Lou are attracted to each other or been drawn to each other is because like the thrill of the angst between them kind of thing. I don't think it's that. I genuinely don't. But I do think that the fact that they fell so hard and fast for each other, it is gonna come back and bite them in the ass, because they would literally die for each other. Like examples of which have been shown throughout the books, where, you know, Reed literally drained himself to save Lou and almost got himself killed to save Lou. He's killed chasseurs to save her and gone against his brotherhood for the people that have raised him. And I know that they're the bad guys, and I know that well, are they the bad guys? I don't know. I can't say the witches are good. I can't say that Lou's good. But they're on the opposite side anyway. It's because they have just been burning witches just because they're witches, so we can call them bad. But I just feel like everything else, it gets blocked out when the other one's in danger, and when this urge comes up to protect the other person. I'm worried that other people in their friend group, in their the little band of merry men that are, because they've got Bo that's siding with them, Coco and Ansel, and I mean I'm not really that bothered about his mum, Madame LaBelle, whatever her name is. She, yeah, we don't really get to see her all that much, but I adore Ansel. He's so sweet, and Coco is Lou's best friend. I feel it feels like it's building up for something bad to happen with them. For instance, there was a fight scene where she looked at Coco. She's like, no, I can't drain Coco to save Reed, because Coco will die. Because but the thought went through her head, and then when she turned all the floor to ice to save Reed, and it turned her heart to ice, and then she started losing her humanity. Basically, it seemed like I feel it's going to get to a point where Reed can't bring her back. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm really not looking forward. The more that I read this, the more I think Shelby Mahoney is going to punch me in the gut, punch through my rib cage, grab my heart and rip it out of my chest, which I'm not ready for. Reed is still annoying me. It's more to do with the magic thing, and I think I mentioned this in my little ramble earlier today or yesterday, whenever it was. He's becoming more interested in magic, but he went to approach the twins in order to get them to ally with him, and I don't like that, manipulation. Manipulation is not for me. I feel like he just needs to accept what he is and embrace that side of him, because again, he's not everyone's like Lou. I don't know. This is just my rambling thoughts again, and I'm just not ready. I'm really not ready. I'm gonna 2 hours from the end and I'm scared. So much could happen, and there's a whole other book to go. Jesus. Hello friends, I'm coming in with another update, and the camera's being all wobbly and shit. This is not the best. I can't remember what I updated you on last. things have been happening. Everything has been going like bloody crazy, I tell you. Bloody crazy. So Reed and Lou had this big bust up, and she was like pushing him away because she was scared that he was gonna push her away, and there was the whole like giving the ring back, like, you know, third act. It's kind of like during contemporary that like a third act blip, third act situation. This was what that was. It was like a third act breakup, third act drama, and Reed was still like toiling with being a witch, and he's finally come to terms with the fact that he's a witch and realised and said out loud that not all witches are heathens, and we love this. We love this for Reed. Well done, Reed, for progress. We love character development in books. Bravo. Took you long enough. Nicolette, I'm really intrigued about why she's the way she is. There was a look between her and Lou, and when she helped her, and I don't think Nicolette is as oblivious and away with the fairies and crazy as people make out she is. I think she plays into that because that's what people see her as. She's very much like the really creepy side character that makes like sings poems at you, you know, dancey thing. I don't know. I feel like there's more to her than meets the eye, if I'm honest. Maybe I'm reading too much into that, maybe I don't know. I don't know, we shall see. I'm almost at the end of the book now. Lindsay's now finished it, and we are both reading Gods and Monsters next month. We're supposed to buddy read it. Oh my god, it's just supposed to be buddy read. I've read it in like 3 days. It's so good. I can totally understand why people enjoy this. For me, this is a perfect palate cleanser series for me. It's not like the most amazingly written literary book. I mean, I'm not really into that anyway. It's not like a high fantasy, complicated storylines and POVs and all that jazz. It's nothing like that, but it's still really good. It's like great character development, friendships, found family vibes. There's little bits of drama that I enjoy. It's a nice palate cleansing type of book for me. I would put it in the realms of like what I would use a contemporary for. Just quick, easy to follow. Just, and I'm having such a fun time. Like, you don't have to have anything that's like really deep for it to be a 5 stars, for it to be a really good book. I will say, I have said throughout this, Reed's behaviour has pissed me off a lot during this book. However, I do feel that he's, when you sit and think about it, it's been through a lot, hasn't it? This guy that he thought was like a father figure to him, that he loved, turned out to not be the guy that he thought he was. He then finds out he's a witch. He then has to kill, well, he has to kill said guy because he notices like threads between him and Lou, and then he finds out he's a witch. So I can kind of understand a little bit about where he was coming from, and like, you know, coming to terms with everything. I can kind of understand it, but we're going into the final stretch and I'm not ready. I don't think I'm going to be okay, but we'll see. I don't know what else has happened. Claude was in love with Lou's mum. What the fuck? What? We still don't know what he is. We know that he knows Lou's mum before Lou's mum went a bit off the rails, but we don't know what he is, like why and like how old he is, kind of thing. Lou and Reed have made up, but Celie is now being rescued. Her mum has now basically convinced Celie that Lou has bewitched Reed into falling for her and like leaving Celie. But then like Jean-Luc loves Celie, and I'm really not liking where that potential plotline is going, because they have had a lot of tension between those two, and the family admit like, you know, they love each other, they will follow each other anywhere, you know what I mean? But then she went and did the thing that she does, leaves Reed behind to run off, just because Coco had like vision and was like, you're gonna lose the one you love. And that could mean anything. The one you love, it could have been a friend that you love, it could be your husband. It's not really a husband, but the guy that you love. It could be anything. Could be the bond that you've got with. Could be Coco, because they've got a sisterly love. It could be anything, and I think she's taking it as in, oh my god, that's Reed. We're rescuing Celia, and yeah, I don't want it to become a whole triangle or square situation. I don't want it to become that. I don't want it to be that. And if they do, if she does bring that in, where Reed's like, oh, should I go for like the quiet life with Celia, or should I continue on my path with Lou? I probably will dislike where this goes. I don't want it to be that. Worries me a lot. People do love a little triangle. That's not a triangle. People do love like a. People do love a little triangle. Triangle. So we'll see. But with Jean-Luc in the mix, it would be a square or a rectangle. Whatever you call it. It would be. We'll see. Ansel. It was Ansel. I don't understand. I knew it was too good to be true when Claude revealed when he revealed himself as like the thing, and then it was. I hope Coco can bring him back. I say I don't like resurrection tropes. I'm lying to myself. I really am lying to myself. Hi, Editing Lisa here. I forgot to update you that I did finish Blood and Honey. It was 5 stars, and I think I just got caught up in the finishing one book and moving straight on to the other, that I forgot to let you know that. But I'm also not enjoying that whilst editing this, I'm having to go through the pain of Ansel dying all over again. So that's a whole heap of fun. Yeah. No, it's not. Not all. Hello friends! I'm back again with book 3. And I've already started reading book 3. I am also reading this for the Tarot Card Readathon. So, yeah. And this was gifted by the lovely Becca. And the Becca Powell. Not that that's part of anything, really. Just thought I'd let you know this. And I'm really confused to start with. So, this picks up from after the whole... Oh, Ansel. Just a bleak reminder that Ansel is no longer with us. It picks up a while after that. So they've left the underground, like Coco's grief has formed this cloud of flame type situation, and Celia has followed them, and I'm not 100% sure what her part in this is. I'm not sure why she followed them. It's kind of throwing me off a little bit, not gonna lie. I don't think that at the moment it seems necessary to the plot to have her there, but Lou is lost. She's been consumed by, possessed by Nicolette, and it seems that Reed subconsciously knows this, that Lou isn't herself, but is not saying anything. He said something that like she seems a bit off and blah blah blah, but they're all grieving from the loss of Ansel. So I can kind of understand why they might think that that she's being a bit off, because Coco is also not being herself, and you know. But I don't know. I think that they don't know that the cleaners possessed her, obviously, otherwise they wouldn't be just chilling the way they are. They've come to this church, or that they thought was abandoned, but there's this kind of priest guy that lives there, and I can't remember his name now. I'm audiobooking this, which is why the names are not like stuck in my brain. But he seems to have been there, and he's like putting them up, and this demon thing that Reed is intent on helping, Korshamans, I can't remember how you pronounce it, but Korshaman, that we don't know what that's going to do, why that's a thing. I'm very curious as to how that's going to benefit them going forward. Are they going to make friends with this creature? Is it going to be, you know, helpful to them? Or is it going to kill another one of them? Because if it's going to kill anybody, it's probably going to be Seela, because she's very inexperienced. But also, I don't know, I feel like if my friend was acting differently the way that Lou was, I would be questioning what was wrong with her. But I think the fact that Seely's turned up has thrown everybody off, and Lou being snappy is kind of been put partly down to grief and partly down to the fact that Seely's turned up, and Seely's like reads X and clearly still had a thing for him when they first got together. So I don't know, we'll see. I will update you more as I read. We were supposed to read 50 pages a day. I'm now currently on page like 56. I might read a couple more chapters, and then that will be me up to date with this buddy read, and this is the only buddy read I've got at the moment. I'm really intrigued though. What is going on? I don't understand. Why is this trying to put me through so much fucking torture? We are now on page 172. I might be a little bit further than this actually, but they're going through it. Like, they've now gone to a lake thing, and what's his name? I have it, Constantine. The Constantine apparently can help Lou heal her, because Nicolina. Can we just also, the narrators for this, the guy who narrates Nevernight, Holland, his name? Haddon. I don't know his name. Holton is plays Reed. I do still very much get, sometimes when he does the voices, I get like hints of Mia and Ashlyn and Trick, but I think that might just be a me thing. I'm not sure if it's an everybody thing. However, the voices that he does, very creepy. This thing that he does where it's like a breathy sort of like weird voice. It's very creepy and also very good. And Nicolina has issues, needs therapy, needs some kind of like, which clearly wasn't hugged enough as a child, like eating hearts and stuff and consuming souls, and now has like many people inside her. That sounds so wrong, but like many souls. She seems to have many voices, and she's an interesting character, but I am very creeped out every time she speaks. It's really weird. I'm so glad that they finally found out that it was actually Nicolina inside Lou. And like I said, Reed did know there was something weird about her and there was something different going on, but the fact that, I do think it was because they were so involved in their own grief and their own situations that they didn't realise what exactly was wrong with Lou. And then when they did, they literally all just went pedal to the metal and were trying to help her. And Coco's tried her best. Do you know what I mean? But I'm really concerned that this is not going to end well, because it's been said that although Constantine was healed by these waters, it's not fully healed him. It's left him with, there's some kind of consequence for him being brought back from the dead, that kind of thing. Everyone thinks Constantine is dead, and you know, he's been cursed to live where he lives after being brought back. Do you know what I mean? So there's going to be a caveat to these waters helping Lou separate from Nicolina. Coco's already said that separating them, because their souls are touched, that separating their souls will not necessarily bring Lou back the way that she was. and you can't focus so much on that. And the fact that Constantine's now said that, you know, he's not totally dead, but he's not totally alive. They're hinting that they're like, there's this like half situation that she could potentially be in, and I don't like it. I really don't like it. The majority of people that have read the series I've seen have said that this is a series, well, as a series down, and I'm really hoping that's not the case. I don't know what I want to happen at this point. I am a sucker for a happy ending, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want things to be too conveniently wrapped up. Bo and Coco kissed, finally. Can we just get a round of applause for them getting their shit together? And although it was a creepy witchy girl that got them to kiss, and then they got a bit heated in front of everyone, at least the kiss. And then Coco's done the Coco thing and just dismissed it, acted like it didn't happen, but there we go. That's Coco for you. They'll come round near the end, and I think that Bo and Coco, it's a cutie. It's a cute thing, isn't it? They're like less drama than Reed and Lou, and they've got more banter. They're very much the, even though Coco doesn't mean to do the banter, her and Bo's back and forth and little snipey comments, and Bo's the light relief for me of the whole book. And yeah, we'll see. We've already lost Ansel. I broke my heart at the end of book 2. Lou's now been possessed. We don't know if we're going to get the old Lou back. Keep getting glimpses of the old Lou. And like now the consciousness inside Nicolina, like the collective, is trying to shield Lou from like splitting apart, which I think is super cute. Because it's really weird that this collective is inside Nicolina. But although they can't all remember themselves and their names and what happened to them, they are sort of banding together to help Lou currently, which is just baffling, but also love it. And we'll see what happens. I don't want another series to end really badly. Like the Ruin of Kings series, Course of Dragons series, so good for me, and then it didn't end well. This series in particular, I've been told, doesn't end the best. And if you are going to give me a series ender that's just going to ruin things for me, I'll be pissed. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if I should punch the book because it's not going to feel anything. But anyway, I'm going to go now. Adios. Hi friends, I've now finished this. This was a ride. The reason I haven't updated you much on this is because I've literally just been devouring it. So I can't remember where I last updated you. But it seems like every time I thought they were getting out of things, something else happened to just drag them back into absolute chaos. And Claude, we met some really fun side characters along the way. I'm glad that Jean, is it Jean or Jean-Claude? Jean or Jean something. I'm going to call him Jean. Who was very, very dead set against witches and things, just like Reed was in the beginning. Came around near the end and realised that they were being kind of fanatical about the witches, and that they needed to switch sides. So I'm glad about that bit. I did not expect Victoire. That caught me off guard. I knew that she wanted to be a fighter. I knew that she was very much like, she didn't want to hide away. She was shouting at them saying that they want to help. But for her to have got free from where she was and ended up getting herself killed, that was just not the ending I expected. I know that it couldn't have ended too conveniently. I didn't think it was going to end very, like, totally conveniently, where everybody got out of it alive. I thought it was going to be like Celie who died, or Jean maybe, because he started coming around and I thought, well, he's going to come around and then he's going to get killed in it, but then he didn't. So, I mean, Seeley does deserve some happiness after, you know, falling in love with a chasseur, then him going, like, having to put the chasseurs before her, and then, fair enough, she pushed him away, but then falling in love with a witch, like, someone he apparently despised. And I could imagine that she's been through a bit, hasn't she? And her parents are not the best, are they? They're a bit fickle and weak. So yeah, thank you so much, Becca, for getting me the final book in the series. I am so happy that I've read this now, but I would definitely reread this again. This was 5 stars for me. It's a 5-star series. I'm not going to say it's like my best series, my favourite series of all time, but it is well written, the character development is great, the twists and turns it takes are great. Yes, Reed and Lou got their happy ending, and I'm a sucker for a happy ending, so I'm happy about that. But we did lose Claude, we did lose Ansel, we did lose Victoire, so there were some casualties along the way. So not everybody got out of it totally unscathed. And Madame Labelle being tortured the way she was, I mean, that's going to take some mental toll on her. And Seeley, poor girl, she being buried with Philippa in that tomb, like being tortured. They're all going to need they're going to need some therapy. I don't fully understand what it is about this that people don't like. If you've read the full series and you didn't enjoy the last book and gave it a low rating, I mean, on Goodreads it is a 4.01, so overall it's not a bad rating, but I have heard reviews where they said this book let it down, and I don't fully understand why that would be the case. And people say I don't really care about the last book. I don't understand it, but if that was you, then please feel free to discuss, because I would like to hear your opinions. No judgment on your opinions at all. I'm just giving you mine. So yeah, let me know what series you would like to see next. I do have some fun series coming up, some fun videos where I'm asking my friends to pick one of their favourite series for me to read. So that is gonna be no pressure. No pressure. But if you do like me and you would like to see more of me, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you're here and you want to let me know you're here, you don't have anything to say, please leave a black heart, it's very much appreciated. If you have any series recommendations that I haven't read yet, that you know is going to be my type of book, please, I know that it should go without saying really, but don't recommend books that are not going to be my type of book, the genres that I like, because it's unfair for me to review books that you know I'm not really interested in reading. But if you think I'd be interested in a book or a series, feel free to comment down below with what you think I'd be interested in. I am more than happy to pick up as many recommendations, trad or indie, either way. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Until next time, enjoy whatever you're watching. Peace out. I'm out.
Every time I fall in love, it seems to